Ready.
Thank you. Welcome to the regular meeting of Hamilton City Council, November 12th, 2025. We're in City Council Chambers, 345 High Street, a little after 6 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Moeller.
Present.
Pullman.
Present.
Fear.
Present.
Vaughn.
Present.
Ryan.
Present.
Mab.
Present.
Lauer.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thanks. We're going to start off with an offering of prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able. Almighty God, guide decision makers to make unselfish decisions. Protect from harm our first responders, police, fire. Protect from harm our active military, our travelers, our young people. And as November is Veterans Month, we all pray for the peace and good mental and physical health of our veterans. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have some special presentations this evening. And the first one has to do with St. Joseph Consolidated School and 17 Strong. If you're involved with either one of those groups, come on up to the middle up here. And I'm joined by Councilmember Tim Knabb to talk about this group, which did a tremendous job on Saturday.
Jessica, would you join us, please?
Yes.
Okay. How you doing?
Any other students out there? Thank you. Okay. On November the 8th, there was an event at noon at Bailey Square, and it was scheduled to start like right at noon. And it was a very historic event. We had people there from U.S. Representative Warren Davidson to a retired general from Washington, D.C., originally from Hamilton. We had the family of someone who sacrificed all to save his fellow soldier. And he had family from out of town who'd never been to Hamilton before. And actually, it was kind of interesting. They didn't really even know each other, but they bonded at this event. We had TV Hamilton there. Thank you very much, Steve Colwell. And representative from Senator Husted's office, and we had Purple Heart recipients. And we had the neighborhood show up from the Riverview neighborhood. And I'll say at 8:45, Bailey Square, where it took place, was not in very good shape. So after I took a walk through picking up a few things, I knew there was a St. Joseph's 17 Strong cleanup going on. And thank goodness for them and their willingness to say, yeah, we'll go help clean up Bailey Square, the streets around Bailey Square, and it just kind of like fanned out through a good part of the Riverview neighborhood. So at 12 noon, it looked absolutely tremendous. And I mean, we're talking, there were some cans and bottles and little plastic. It was just not in really good shape. And when it even got down to cigarette butts, beer can screwed off taps, and even in our drains. If Dan Arthur was here, I'd say, Dan, they were cleaning out even the drains because there were a few things in there. Some of the pictures are tremendous, and as you can tell that they fanned out quite a bit in the Riverview area. They got definitely an A+ in what they did, and there were like 70 of them, if I'm not mistaken. When you see that picture up there, I'm going to hand off to you in just a second. It's like 70 people. But I was amazed at these 70 people. We had students, siblings, parents, grandparents that I knew. It was like a family event. Now, I'm going to hand it off to the principal here.
It's okay. I'm one of the teachers that helped with the.
We're going to make you principal tonight.
Sounds great. That sounds wonderful.
I also got to mention Jessica Harp. She saw the condition of imagine wet leaves all over the place. And I don't think it rained wet leaves. And she goes, I'll get my fiance. He's got this leaf blower. And there wasn't a leaf on the ground anywhere at Bailey Square. And I think they blew it somewhere else into a parcel somewhere close by and then mulched it. And I got there about 11:45 going, this looks great. But okay, now you introduce yourself. I made you a principal, but you can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself.
That's okay. I'm Katie Sugg. I teach at St. Joe's, and I'm the junior high language arts teacher. But this is my second time working with 17 Strong, writing grants, the Nano grants, and I love the experience. I did 4 at Ridgeway, and then I did 4 with these students at St. Joe's. So one of them, Evelyn, was actually responsible for this, and then another student, Annie. They saw the need of going out and cleaning up the community, and we decided to partner and pair it with that day, that celebration down at the Bailey Square. So I'm very proud of them in taking this opportunity. I'm so thankful for 17 Strong for what you are doing for kids in our community to see that they can make a change. So this just goes to show what they can do. And all the parents, all the families, even people in the neighborhood were walking out thanking all of our students. And so they saw the importance of doing that as well. And we already plan on doing one in the spring as an entire building, again, in that same neighborhood, but in a different area. So I'm just really appreciative of what 17 Strong is doing for our kids in the community.
We're going to hear from 17 Strong, then I'd like to hear from the students. Councilmember Nab.
Well, hi, I'm representing here 17 Strong tonight, but Peggy Bengy is normally the one that would be standing up here with you guys because she's the ambassador and the maker of the nanograms to work alongside with you. I really want to thank you for getting everything situated with us to get the flagpole dedication all cleaned up and ready. The lawn services that came out, thanks to the parent at St. Joe's, they also came out and blew all the leaves from the square. So thank you. If you want to say the name, I forgot the name, sorry.
It's okay. It's Beaker's Lawn and Landscaping.
You're one of the 2 students who this was your nano grant, right? All right, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Evelyn Wilhelm, and I just wanted to say thank you for Mr. Nab and the mayor for helping us with this and showing up. And I just want to say thank you all for the 17 Strong people for letting us do this for a nano grant. And yeah.
Great. All right. You want to call those to that? We do. You can run them just a little bit. Okay, now, yeah. You're going to at least say your name. Come on, you're going to at least say your name.
I'm Colton. Just thank you again for 17 Strong for helping out with this project.
Cool shirt. You helped out, I think I saw you there.
Yes, he did. Who was the one by the sewer video? Yes.
Hi, Harrison.
Well, pass the mic down to this young man too.
Jackson.
Say a couple words. No.
There they are.
Okay. Tell us who they are.
So Annie is on the right, and Evelyn's right there on the left. Not only did we have everybody show up, there was also donuts provided, coffee from Big B, and we had orange juice as well. So as people came in before they started cleaning, it was just a good way to bring the community together. So yeah, it was both of their idea, and I'm very proud of them for that.
And I'll just add a cap. When I arrived, and all 70 people were working in the Riverview neighborhood, and the young ones and the older ones, and Evelyn and her team, the adults, faculty, moms and dads, and people that were there just to be able to brighten the community. And Jessica turned to me and she said, Tim, the square looks beautiful, but it's all full of leaves. So she called her fiance. He brought his truck, trailer, lawnmowers, blowers, and they blew everything out. It was immaculate for our remembrance and our commitment to Staff Sergeant Brown and his valor in Vietnam. When that ceremony took place at noon, we had, give or take, probably 75 people there to be able to celebrate Staff Sergeant and his heroism. He died in combat in service to our country in Vietnam And we're looking to take him from the valiant level that he is right now to a Medal of Honor recipient. So we had the right people there to be able to, if you will, move the needle and get Staff Sergeant Brown the recognition that he deserves from our country. So thank you to St. Joe's. Thank you to everybody that chipped in. The numbers just speak for themselves in that picture of the community effort and the student effort, the faculty, the moms and dads and everything. So the mayor and I really wanted, and council wanted to say thank you to all of you. Not thank us, but thank you for doing what you did for our city.
Thank you. And we're going to have a couple of cases of water delivered, so you can have Hamilton water. You can do a toast. And you really are a principal. Thank you.
All right, next we have Hamilton Road updates, Hamilton Road projects update by Director of Engineering, Alan Messer.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. This is kind of a year-end summary of sorts and what to look forward to for next year in the way of transportation projects. Had a big year in 25, Millville, one that everyone's glad to be completed. And I will say that overall was a $6.5 million project. It wasn't just the paving of the roads, but there was a ton of utility work, and it's a 2-mile stretch out there. These are the highlights: Greenwood Boulevard, Walnut, Wasserman Road was this year's Safe Routes to School. That's exciting because it connects another neighborhood there to the school on Wasserman. The Ross Avenue safety improvements, if you haven't seen those, please go by and look at them. Those are well underway. And Hancock Avenue, construction's underway there. Hanover, we could be done this year, but we're kind of holding back because of the construction there at Garcia's Grocery, and we want to let them get finished before we put the final pavement down. This is a look at it. You can see projects all over the city. This is just 2025 work that's either finished or underway. Exciting as always. This is the grants that we received just in 2025. And to put in perspective, this is $7.4 million. Street levy generates like 3.2, so this is more than double what we get in street levy funds per year. These are the major projects coming up next year. I showed the roundabout there. Next year will be the utility work leading up to the roundabout. The project will be awarded next year, but the bulk of the construction you'll see in 2027. I'll talk a little more about Bell Avenue, Dixie, Erie here in a moment, and then we're really excited to be completing the trail, the Beltline Trail over to Main Street, another bridge over 2 Mile Creek, and see that project to finish. Knightsbridge, we'll start the first of that Safe Streets for All grant funding that we received. And then we've got another Safe Routes to School project there at Crawford on Hancock. Extremely difficult to see, but this is directly from the website, so you can see the list of paving for 2025 here. I won't go through that, you've seen it in the past, but this is the list for next year. It was so numerous that I actually broke it into 2 sheets because it would be even more difficult to see. The first one here, Park Avenue, I expect us to do that next year, that we did receive that grant money for that. It's a cumbersome process, and most of the other communities that received it have already conceded to doing the paving in 27. I'm going to continue the fight and see if we can truly get it next year. If we can't, we may look at just doing a mill to smooth it off. and then buy us the time. But we did receive $800,000 towards this, so it's really worth the wait to receive that grant money to do it. I highlight University Boulevard here. On this street, we're going to continue the cape sealing that we've done some, and that is to, I'll talk about a little more later, to get the street sealed up essentially so that it lasts longer for a much, much cheaper price. It's stretching our dollars further. And here's a chart of, for any of the geeks out there that like charts related to pavement condition and lifetime. Essentially what it says is the pavement, if you get to a certain point, you can do something like cape seal or do just a surface course and get it to where it lasts another 15 to 20 years. But if you let it get past that point, it costs 4 to 5 times as much to restore it to something that's going to last 15 to 25 years. So we're trying to catch roads before they're too far gone. So people often ask, why are you doing that road, not this one? This road's in far worse condition. And they're right. That one's essentially gone. We're treating it like triage to the point that it will be in essentially the same condition next year. But if this other one, we could do 4 of these other streets and they'll be in like near new condition for the next 20 years for the price that we could have spent on the one. We are taking a 2-pronged approach because we can't wait forever to do those ones that are in very poor condition, but we are trying to focus more of our money to get it looking at the long term, the 20-year lifetime of the pavements. This is what this is a list of public works improvement or resurfacing in 2025, and this is a list for what they have already planned for 2026, and you see the guys there in the left that do all that work for them. I do want to talk about this because this will be our significant road closure for 2026. Starting in January, Dixie will be closed from Bell to Route 4, and a lot of people use that route. And Bell will be closed from the railroad to what's now Dixie, so that we can construct an extension of Bell to Route 4, as well as reconstruct Bell from the railroad to the east, add some additional turn lanes, and essentially make ready for the Durana headquarters expansion. We did receive about $1.2 million in grants towards this. This is the detour route. It's Grand, Route 4, Laurel, and Pleasant Avenue. Here's a picture. The next phase of the Beltline from Eaton to Maine will have a bridge very similar to the one that's over 2 Mile Creek today from Cleveland to B Street. I'm sorry, from Cleveland to Eaton. And I went through that very quickly, but I wanted to let you know where we are and alert you to that upcoming road closure, and then see if there's any questions that you have. One of the projects I failed to mention here, our signal shop actually completed a traffic signal. They try to do about one a year. We have the capability, which is pretty rare, to do a traffic signal build in-house. So they did the one at Eden Park Drive in Northwest Washington, wrapped that up here this fall. Were there any questions about this? Or
Mr. Mayor?
Please.
Alan, just for everyone watching, I know the paving is going to be in 2026, but it will not start January 2nd, right? It starts probably March or warmer weather?
It's extremely weather dependent, and when we say start next year, it starts with the concrete, and that could last many months. So the paving, the actual paving portion of it happens in a matter of weeks. They come in, the concrete's prepared it, and then they come through and they can pave very quickly. I would expect the ones listed for next year to occur more like late summer, fall, and then some of this year's, because this spring we had extremely wet spring, and then June all of that construction work for the year backed up. So some of it this year, the concrete should all be done, but some of this year's paving will actually occur like April of next year, whenever the asphalt plant's open.
Perfect, thank you.
I want to mention a couple things really impressed me. First off, the number of streets. There are quite a few streets that are being addressed. Our ability to get grant money is tremendous. I mean, you folks are professionals. You've proven that we can handle this money very well and get the streets paved. And a lot of these have to do with safety. You got 2 safe routes to schools, I believe. Then you also add, the roundabouts. I just think it's tremendous. I mean, it's paving, but it's more than just paving. It's also safety. I think it's tremendous. I'm very impressed by what you just showed us.
Thank you.
Ellen, the compliment that Public Works pays on top of those contractors that we bid with and things is just tremendous. And that list that you showed this evening on all the work accomplished, all the work to be done in 2026, and as the mayor shared, over $7 million in grants is phenomenal. Again, it doubles the amount that we provide with the streets levy. So again, congratulations on everything we're doing. Would you please send us that deck?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Ellen.
Okay. Thank you.
Next, we have cybersecurity update by IT Director Ken Carrier and Sean Waldman, CEO of Secure Cyber.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. As the security landscape for municipalities has become increasingly complex, our commitment to protecting the city's critical services and resident data is paramount. To bolster this defense, we partnered with Secure Cyber, a leader in guiding, protecting, and defending organizations from cyber threats. They bring a wealth of experience and cutting-edge technology to our security operations. It is my honor to introduce Sean Waldman, the CEO of Secure Cyber, who will briefly outline the high-level strategies they are employing to help keep our city safe.
Thank you, Ken. Mr. Mayor, council members, thank you for having me this evening. I just wanted to briefly just talk to you about Secure Cyber and just who we are, just to set the landscape. I'm the CEO of the company. I founded it about 10 years ago. I actually did 19 and a half years in local government up in the Dayton, Ohio area. I was a police officer, I was a 911 operator, and then went on to work as a park ranger, and also did a couple other local law enforcement jobs where I did things like drug interdiction and accident reconstruction. How I started a cybersecurity company is a completely different conversation that we can have at some point. Just a little bit about my company. We have about 27 full-time employees. We're all U.S. based. Our security operations center is based out of Moraine, actually in the Tyler Technologies building. So as you drive up 75 and you see the old Miller Valentine headquarters with the perfectly manicured lawn, that is the facility that we are in. Just a little bit more about Secure Cyber. We're a local organization. Lots of local government, private sector, defense contractors depend on us for our reactiveness, proactiveness, as well as our people, process, and technology systems. So all of which are consumed by the city of Hamilton. We're very active in the community. We just held a Capture the Flag event, which is basically an event for schools, high schools, local colleges, where we come in and do a simulation event to allow young people who are going into the cybersecurity field. I do some work with the Ohio Secretary of State's office, where I volunteer my time to help secure Ohio's election system as a cybersecurity expert. So those are just some small contributions that I make and my company makes in the region. So just a little bit about the current state of local government and cybersecurity. Everyone probably in this room is probably perfectly aware of what's been going on in just Southwest Ohio, Central Ohio, Northeast Ohio. Ohio has been pretty much on the radar screen from a cyber perspective, and definitely not in a good way. So there's also a lot of state legislation that's going on. If you're not familiar with Ohio House Bill 96, that was recently passed as an amended House bill when the state passed their budget. That's a non-funded mandate that requires every local government in the state of Ohio to adopt a cybersecurity program, as well as do a multitude of other things to be in compliance. I want to speak just in general terms about the city's cybersecurity, nothing that we want to go into in great detail. Only to tell you, we've been doing this for about 5 going on now 6 years with the city of Hamilton. I can tell you I don't always come into a situation where a local government is proactive in cyber, and that is something that the city of Hamilton is on a short list of. So I appreciate your investment, not just from a monetary perspective, but just cybersecurity is led from the top. And if that doesn't occur, it's very difficult to push cybersecurity up into an organization. It's very difficult to do. So basically my key takeaway, and I'm happy to answer any questions that I can answer, is you all know cybersecurity is not just something that is handled one time. It is a continuous effort. We're dealing with the big 4, China, North Korea, Iran, Russia. Those are the types of threats that we're encountering on a day-to-day basis. About 10 years ago, these were very much domestic threats. That has definitely turned into essentially cyber terrorism. So at this time, I'm happy to answer any questions. I didn't have a PowerPoint presentation. I thought that would be very boring to walk through. So questions are my best way to address this.
Any questions at this time? Thank you for what you do. I know that Ken and his team are busy building the walls and making sure that they're secure, and it's a tough job, but glad we've got professionals such as yourself and of course Ken.
Well, I appreciate that. Our relationship with Ken, Brandon, Edwin, all the way through to the city manager and law director, executive staff, everybody's been very involved with my company and what we do. And like I said, we wouldn't be able to accomplish half of what we need to do to secure the city and the data of the citizens in this room and who aren't in this room without the proper leadership and support from all of you. So I appreciate that very much.
Sean,
Thank you.
Complimented and said, usually you come in after the fact.
Yeah.
But our city, as you know, wishes to be proactive in 99% of, if not 100% of the things we do. So we're glad you're a partner with us and offer that protection that your company does here, as you said, in the United States and things. So Ken, thanks for working with Sean. Sean, working with Ken and his team. And every once in a while there will be a little bit of a glitch that we see. And thank you for the action and reaction and things of being upfront with it. So.
Well, I appreciate you using the word partner. That's a very specific word that you use, and is very impactful. Secure Cyber is not treated or felt as we're just a vendor for the city. We do feel like we're a partner and that we're part of the family. So I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. We now go to audience of citizens. Individuals who wish to speak, make comments, may speak during this part of the agenda, or may reserve the right to speak when an item comes before council to vote on. All individuals who speak are required to sign what I've got up here, which is the public address, public speaking book, and each speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes. Now, I do count that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people to talk about the data center. And I'm going to put those at the end and let the other folks speak first, because we've got one person who wants to speak, I believe, about parking on Ross, and one person to speak about trees. So we're going to have them speak first, and then we'll go to the data center questions. Jim Lonneman's your first. Name,
evening, Mayor,
address, and the issue that you want to
Jim
address.
Lonneman at 544 Franklin Street. And I just want to say something. I come on Franklin Street, turn on right on turn right on next street, and turn right on Ross. There's still cars parked on in front of the sign that says no parking here to the corner, you know. And the cops ain't doing much about that.
Well, okay. Anything else you want to say about it before I say something?
Here.
Sure, okay. All right. You know, you bring the issue up, and it all comes to our attention when you bring it up. And we all are frustrated when somebody does a selfish thing like what you just described. I'm sure if the police saw somebody doing that they would say something to them. I mean, it's important that you don't block a line of sight. So stay tuned, Jim. I think you're going to start seeing an improvement. So, but feel free to give me a call or talk to me before a meeting starts about that issue, and I'll give you an update of what I know about it, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim.
Have a good night now.
You too. Alfred Barron. Name, address, and then talk about your issues if you would.
Good afternoon. My name is Alfred Barron, 123 Chestnut Street. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, City Council members, Attorney at Law. Thank you all again for everything you did for my Uncle Freddie on the 8th. I really do appreciate it. That was an emotional moment. It was unexpected. Caught me off guard. But that's good. That's good. So now I know how you work. But congratulations to those who won their elections. So hopefully you keep up all the promises that you gave. But we'll work on that. Now I'm here in regarding a tree, the subject matter. I think a couple of you are already aware of what I'm talking about. It's like I'm beating a dead horse. Now, whose tree is it and who's responsible for it? We know it cost me, and I know I paid for one. It cost me $1,800 to take down one tree. Now, we got boundary lines and where the boundary lines are. Now, I see that one I've showed you, there's a peg in the ground where the city claimed that with the engineers that came in, the surveyors, and they put down pegs. This is okay. This is the boundary line. This is the city eminent domain, as you might say. So they encroach on property, which I know our old garages back in the day, they ran up to the alley. So now they moved us back 5, so you've taken that over. So now what grows there, now the question is, who's responsible? Is the owner that lost land, or is it the city that took the land?
You're raising some issues which I can't really answer. It's easier to see something than it is to hear something described. But your issues, I think, could probably be taken up by talking to someone in the city.
Councilman Lauer, he saw what I was talking about, and I just showed him a photo of it. I got it there, but I know it's kind of awkward. I got it on my phone, showing the peg, and it's got a number on it. And the engineers, I thought it was a gas line some years back, and it wasn't a gas line because we had a lot of gas leaks in the street. They paved the street, then they dug the street up, and we had a lot of problems with them interrupting gas lines. Come to find out, it wasn't a gas line.
Who have you talked to in the city besides council?
The gas department.
About the issue that you're describing. Who else have you talked about in the city besides us?
Besides you?
Yes, sir.
Somebody from the gas department from the city garage. And they pointed out, to correct me on that, it's not a gas line, it's where the engineers mark it down, where the boundary lines are, where your property, where your, where my rights end is at stake, where the city, from there to the alley, the city claims that, up to 10 feet? I think is, what is it, up to 10 feet they can?
Mr. Mayor, I think he's talking. I think you're talking such specific. I'm going to, of course, defer to a smarter person than me.
Right. Well, actually, okay, specific. This tree.
But I think you need to talk to somebody in infrastructure as well as listen to our city manager, if you would, for just a second. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Barron. I know that Executive Director of Infrastructure Edwin Porter is here. I know he's familiar with some of the issues. I don't know about each one of those issues you've raised here tonight, Mr. Barron, but him and Dave Bieneman have discussed the tree issue, so I'm sure Edwin would be happy to talk in more detail with you and get the specific information that we need to get back to you and help you with this situation.
This gentleman here was kind enough to give me a good phone number. I tried to contact Dave Bieneman before, tried to do it before I came here.
Yes.
And I'm getting the wrong numbers, so all the numbers just shuffled around on me, so I can't get a hold of anyone, so that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Alfred, I mean, you know, you've worked with us on other issues. This is something else that we can work with you on, but we got to kind of realize there are certain certain things that we can do, and certain things that we can't do. But please talk to Edwin, talk to Dave Bieneman, our arborist, our infrastructure executive director, and it's better than talking to us about something as specific as what you're talking about. Okay?
I got what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that don't put a financial burden on me when it's not my responsibility and know what it costs to
I'm
deal
saying
with.
talk to our professional folks who will tell you that the way it is for all of our citizens who have similar situations. I can't even tell you the answer to what you're asking, but somebody else here certainly can. And if it's a procedure that needs to be looked at, or a process, we'll look at it. But at this point in time, I think you need to talk to our other folks.
Or recommended a committed crew committed to turn around and taking care of the trees. Since we're a city of trees and a city of sculpture, you plant a tree, do you not trim the tree that you plant?
Hey, I look forward to you talking to Edwin.
I will.
And Dave Bieneman, and then us getting a report, kind of what's going on with your tree. That sound fair?
It'll work for now.
I want to say thank you for your service too, because I know you're a veteran.
I thank you for everything you did for my uncle. You know, it's like,
Well, I'll tell you
we
what,
appreciate
that was extremely, it was emotional, it was educational, it was historic, and to see your family bond there was a
You
sight.
enlightened me on things I didn't know until my uncle got up there, and this is where everybody's holding secrets, and I didn't get it all.
Well, we'll have a great next family reunion, and we're going to be working on the Medal of Honor project. There's been steps already taken since we've had that event on Saturday.
As I've heard.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you kindly. We'll be meeting again.
We will. And
Thanks, Alfred.
I think you've got Edwin coming out to go give you a business card and maybe talk to you for a minute. Okay. That takes care of the non-data center questions. Yvonne Hamilton. Is Yvonne Hamilton here?
Oh, I am. I'm not going to talk, though. I'm just here to listen.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you for being here and listening. And all right. Well, to all of you here for the data center issue, thank you for being here. We want to hear from you. But I'm confident about two things. One is I'm confident that council's been reading your emails, been listening to your voicemails. I'm also pretty confident nobody on council's made a decision yet of what we'll make a decision on. I'm real confident of that because there are more questions that need to be answered. Some involving engineering, some involving operations. And I know that when you go to the podium, our city manager and others are writing down what can be put online as an answer to that question. I don't believe we all have the answers right now. Okay? But let's listen. Council needs to listen and learn. So we're going to go through the list in the order that people signed the book. First off, I've got Carl Cooper. Okay. Thank you, Carl, for being here. I know you're a very learned person. And we'll go next on the list. That would be Terry Cunningham. Terry, I want to say that Council did get your email today.
Oh, okay.
We did get that.
I didn't know if it was relevant to us or not, but it was kind of scary.
I found it to be interesting. I read it over, so please tell us what you want us to know.
Well, congratulations on your election wins. Good evening. My name is Terry Cunningham, 2236 Freeman Avenue. I had some questions about some of the statements made in the Q&A page. The city stated we work to reduce our electric use with the regional grid when the regional grid is peaking. Because our transmission and capacity prices are determined by how much power we're using during those times. The less energy we use during those 6 peak hours, the less we pay for the following year, ultimately saving money for the entire community. We have surplus energy to sell to the data center. The current plan is that any additional power required to serve this project will be purchased from the market with an adder. The developer will be responsible for covering all associated costs. My question, So the data center will be on our grid and using our city-generated electric until our surplus runs out. Is that correct?
Okay. My advice would be, and it'll go smoother, I think, if you finish your list of questions and then they get written down, and then you can hear possibly some answers or how we're going to get answers to you.
Okay.
Is there another line of issues you want to address right now? Because I wrote down 2 or 3 questions from what you just said. You wish to add to that? I mean, you've got time. You can add to that if you got other questions you want to ask.
Yes. If the data center moves forward, we will create a final contract called an electric service agreement. This document is what determines their electric rates. Will their rate be less than our rate? I've asked this before. The answer is usually yes. If their rate is less than our rate, who pays the difference of the amount? This is why customers in other cities are seeing their utility bills rise. I don't really care about the electric bill. That's not really my concern, but other people have been asking me about it.
Okay.
Question, will this service agreement cover the entire cost of future expansion of additional megawatts that the company may use? Will there be a maximum capacity that they can use in writing? Question, is there any information that was obtained at your October 17th meeting that you can share with us? The city, how will this benefit the community? Attracting long-term investment, positioning Hamilton as a leader in the digital economy. Question, have you considered the fact that we may not want more data centers? My personal fear is that this one is allowed, that more will come, including taking the 44 acres across the street. The city, environmental impact approvals. Prior to approvals, residents will be able to engage in discussions about questions or feedback. What environmental impact approvals have they received so far? The water usage, which is part of my main concern. The closed loop illusion. Closed loop cooling is definitely an improvement over traditional evaporative systems. It is often promoted as a sustainable solution, yet the reality is more complex. Microsoft, for example, disclosed that even its previously optimized closed-loop sites were consuming large volumes of water. These systems also rely on pumps, heat exchangers that draw substantial power. The result is a hidden transfer of environmental cost, masked by clean technology branding, yet still absorbed by surrounding communities. My questions are, will there be added electricity cost by our generators running to treat the massive amounts of water that needs to be retreated after cooling their servers? Will that cost be calculated and paid by Logitech? Do you know yet how many hundreds of thousands of gallons of our water they will be using per day? Will our water or sewer rates increase by the additional amounts of water that needs to be retreated? Sure, I'm almost done. The city independent third-party certified environmental firms will study the following for us. Are they being hired by us or by Logitech? Studies for light pollution, water usage, but no studies are mentioned the quality of water leaving the facility after it is used to cool the servers, because there is no way to study this until they are up and running. Am I correct? So no study is being performed on the quality or contamination of the water discharged into our wastewater.
Okay, all right. And of course, you know how to get a hold of us through email. Mr. City Manager, do you want to kind of give an idea of how some of the questions you're going to hear from other people as well as Terry, how maybe those answers can be conveyed back to them.
Sure. I'm just taking a note of some of these questions that I may be able to address here in the moment. The other questions we'll follow up on and add append to the frequently asked questions page with additional information. So what I prefer to do is keep this list running until we get through the end of all the discussions, and then I'll respond briefly.
Great. Okay, and if Terry just mentioned the question that you've got, you can say, you know, what Terry asked is also what I want to know. So instead of having to read the same, there won't be repetition then, and you'll say, just like what Terry said. Laura Moore. I have Laura Moore next. You're not wish to talk? Okay. Joy Platt. Name and address, if you would.
Joy Platt, 29 Lawson Avenue. Hey. Some of you know me. You know I'm outspoken, even confrontational, which might have made it a surprise that I haven't spoken here yet. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Joy Platt. I'm an incredibly proud Hamiltonian. I love my city. I'm both a home and business owner in Hamilton. I was raised here. My husband and I are raising our family here. Our oldest is now in business with my husband, so I expect the next generation of our family will remain here as well. I've been attending council meetings since September 24th, and on that day I got the opportunity to address some concerns with Mr. Edwin Porter. At that time, I found out a power study had not yet been conducted, though an FAQ was published shortly after, as if information was available to give, such as the definitive, "This will not result in higher utility bills." I actually asked Mr. Porter if he was for or against the idea. He stated he was neither, that he works for the residents of Hamilton as Hamilton utility customers. This should have been reassuring, but after engaging one of our Public Utility Commission members, Mr. Robert Eberhardt, on social media, it's not. I'd have expected a public official to attempt to appear impartial, but he actually just seemed to gaslight community members by telling them there's no data center proposed yet, facetiously arguing over the definition of proposed because an official business proposal hasn't been presented, when it's obvious everyone discussing the data center, from residents to the FAQ you guys published to the news, is simply referring to a presented idea when using the word proposed. He even mocked another resident, what she said about the damage of data centers being known, by disingenuously asking, "I haven't heard about any damage from the existing data center in Hamilton. Have you?" He undoubtedly knows the existing data center is a literal 100 times smaller than the one potentially being planned. Mr. Eberhardt went on to tell residents a good time to form opinions would be in a year or so, when there might be a proposal. He suggested we wait for the studies for actually Hamilton relevant info to discuss productively. Now, normally I'd agree. You shouldn't use anecdote as a source. You should always form opinion based on empirical evidence. However, these mega data centers popping up across the nation in this race to AI are so new, we don't have the privilege of certainty. We have to refer to anecdotal evidence when there aren't any studies to cite. And so far, the communities sharing their experience with us have no good things to say. You can't expect residents to be foolish enough to believe Hamilton will be the exception. We have to say no. Regardless of what the company is, regardless of their promises, Hamilton residents do not want a humongous data center supporting superintelligence. We don't want more AI to take more human jobs. Ohio's already one of the 6 states piloting a program to use AI to determine approval for over a dozen medical procedures. I don't know about you guys, but the idea of a computerized approval or denial of medical testing or procedure rather than humans is absurd to me. I've had major brain surgery. I understand the detriment of delaying necessary MRI at all. We should be fighting this, not building data centers who will work towards more of this. One thing I'd also like to cover is the source of power being provided. When I addressed the topic of utilities being provided to the data center, by an outside company like Duke, I was assured that would not be the case. Hamilton would be providing the energy, and as I understood it, even if that meant upgrades to be able to do so. However, being subject to ever-changing components, if this were to change, if an exception is to be made for this business to utilize outside power, I have to assume my business will be entitled to that same option. In fact, I think all of Hamilton, residents and businesses alike, would have that same opportunity. Thank you for your time. I really don't have any questions. I kind of just wanted to give you this to mull over. I'm sure you guys imagine it's like very overwhelming to speak publicly, but I also just wanted to say I'm really proud of community members kind of coming together and showing up to these meetings to continue to speak. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Joy. One thing I want to say is, when it comes to this issue, I think everybody's been respecting everybody else. I mean, I used a word in there that about mocking. I don't think anybody's mocking anybody. I think we're listening.
Oh, I'm sorry, I know I'm not putting anymore. I would like to email you guys the screenshots that I don't like to do like a he said, she said. So.
That's okay. That's fine. Just do it that way. But I just want to say that everybody's been, I think, incredibly respectful of each other's opinion. And there's differing opinions about AI, about data centers, and everything. And in a town of 63,000 people, you're going to probably get quite a few different opinions of different levels of, but I think we're all just trying to learn more. Thank you, Joy. Mackenzie Long.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Long. I live over on Heaton Street, and I've lived in Hamilton for about 4 years now. I've grown to love Hamilton and its community, and I'd like to live here hopefully for another 10. I have personally heard several people talking about moving if you all end up going through with this. My roommate and I would most likely be leaving along with them, because this is not a good idea for Hamilton, and neither the city council nor anyone has been able to present a reason to go through with this. You talk about the tax revenue, but you haven't elaborated on how that would benefit Hamilton citizens in their day-to-day at all. At this point in time, your dismissiveness has shown that you do not have our best interests at heart. So how are we supposed to have faith that with this non-guaranteed profit, you'll actually represent and support us and our interests? There is no guarantee that this will benefit us. There is a guarantee that this will cause light, noise, air, and water pollution, along with taking a huge chunk of Hamilton's remaining green space, and raising our utility bills. I'm now going to read a bit from a study published by the University of Michigan called What Happens When a Data Center Comes to Town. And this section is titled The Impossibility of an Environmentally Friendly Data Center. Data centers cannot fully operate on renewable energy alone. Renewable energy sources like solar and wind are inconsistent and cannot meet the uptime requirements of data centers. These factors make it impossible for data centers to depend solely on renewables without compromising reliability. Data centers are being constructed at a rapid pace, often in areas where existing power infrastructure is insufficient to meet their enormous energy needs. To ease concerns about environmental impact, data center operators frequently pledge that their facilities will eventually run on clean energy, including next-generation nuclear sources such as small modular reactors. However, these SMRs remain largely theoretical with no commercially viable models yet in operation. In the interim, companies claim that they will rely on fossil fuels as a temporary bridge until greener solutions become available. Yet in practice, this transition is often delayed or abandoned altogether. This gap between promise and reality underscores the fundamental contradiction in labeling data centers as environmentally friendly. Data centers will also always have an environmental footprint through material resource consumption, water usage, and electrical demand. This makes it unfeasible for them to be completely environmentally friendly. It is impossible for data centers to be environmentally friendly. So why would you welcome this into our community? You are entertaining these strangers more than you are protecting your own citizens. Thank you.
want to say one thing, because you raised the environmental issue, and I find that to be something that we should all be concerned about. But in Sunday's Enquirer, there was an article called Ohio Can Build Better Data Centers, written by Tim Ryan and Sean Cutter. Tim Ryan was, I believe, a representative from Ohio. Sean Cutter, I think, is a farmer. And it does talk about some creative ways of how you can make it environmentally, by partnering with farmers in various ways of collecting water that you reuse. I mean, it's something that he's supportive of data centers, but he wants them to be environmentally sound and partnering in various ways. But it's very interesting. It was in Sunday's Enquirer. So that issue of being environmentally friendly, environmentally responsive, there are people out there who are think along those paths. Natalie. Give us your name and your address, please.
I am Natalie Poyer, 1153 Heaton. I'm here again to speak against the data center being built. Going through with the data center would only do harm to our community in Hamilton. This disrupts not only us as people, but wildlife that live in our city as well. No amount of money is worth the pollution that comes with the data center. This would have us competing for our own drinking water while polluting it at the same time. There would be noise pollution and light pollution, also keeping families up at night. These concerns have been backed by research and expressed to you many times now. I find it ironic you would start these meetings off with a prayer, but are willing to destroy God's creation for the right price. This isn't politics, this is morality. Remember, we are all people trying to live a peaceful life, even though many of us struggle to get by as it is. Don't make life harder for your neighbors. If you cannot prove to us this is a good idea, then maybe it's not. Again, I ask you to remember the trust you are given to be in the seat you are in. Make this decision with love and not greed. Thank you.
Thank you. That does take care of our audience of citizens, except for Bob Harris. Is Bob Harris outside?
Yes.
Okay. Did not see that until just now that Bob Harris was here. Good evening, Bob.
Good evening. Bob Harris, 429 South 2nd Street, President of Southeast Civic Association. Good evening, and congratulations to those who are reseated on council and those who are coming here for the first time. So, we've had an evening already. I've just been sitting outside listening. I want to go back to a couple of weeks ago when we had the tire cleanup. We had a successful cleanup in tires, and I absolutely enjoyed riding with the city manager and looking at the different spots in the community that I think we need to give a lot of attention to. It was a good day and a wonderful thing to do. After we finished the tire cleanup, we went on to the Heritage Walk. I didn't do the walk, but I did do the presentation at my studio, and I want to thank the mayor for allowing me to demonstrate on him and with him in terms of karate. It was a good, wonderful day. And then we followed that up. Pat, did you learn anything?
Bob, I did learn, and I think you were impressed with some of my reflexes. I didn't do too bad. I would have been hurt, but not hurt as bad as you think you would have hurt. No, thank you, Bob, because he talked to a group of about 18 people about his sport, his business, and the history of Sika and the Second Ward. I mean, it was just a really good presentation, and I did happen to be the way that you taught people a few things.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really good to have you as someone to work with. It was a good day.
Yes, it was.
So with that and the entire cleanup, we've been on a roll. And then this past week, we had the honoring of Freddie Brown. And to my cousin Liz, I had told her that Freddie was in our family. She says, Bob, you related to everybody. But so Bob Brown when he was speaking, he says, my sister, was the sister to Freddie Brown, which gave me some more information in terms of the family, because there were a lot of things that we didn't know when we were looking for Bob Brown, which I thought he was in Columbus, and he had went to Florida, and then I guess he came back to Columbus. But somebody found him, which was good. It was a wonderful day, and I do want to say personally from Southeast, thank you to all of the 70 students that came out and helped clean that place up beforehand. And I want to say thank you to everybody who came out, period, for that celebration. It was a celebration that will never be forgotten. And the lead people on that celebration was Liz Hayton and Councilman Lauer and Bob Harris. We did it 3 the hard way, but we were able to get it done with all of the city participating, 17 strong, and all the different organizations. And I just want to say thank you, a job well done by all of us, and let's keep on moving down the line. And one last thing, on the data center, I want to know if that's a possibility that the city, the people that live in the city get to have a vote on that.
We're going to hear from the city manager maybe in a few minutes about some of the questions that he can answer and some that we're going to post. Before you leave, I will say, you helped bring up the Brown family to the event. I also want to thank Brandon Hendricks, who found people, as well as thank Jeanette Israel. I mean, it took a community to find the Brown family members and brought them to Hamilton. That was all part of the success of that event.
It was a family lesson. Alfred and I have been cousins for longer than what we know. So it really was, and it was a great day.
He seems to claim you.
He doesn't have to claim me. You know, when you're growing up,
Whoops.
you claim one another. When you get older, you may not claim each other.
All right, Bob. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Bless you. Mr. Manders, you want to address any of the data center and when there might be some answers to their questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there's a couple that I can't answer here. And again, I've made some notes, and I know the staff is keeping track of some of these questions that I'm not able to answer at the moment, but we will append those to the frequently asked questions page. But somebody mentioned the outside power source. There will be no outside power as part of this project. So the City of Hamilton supplies all the power within the city, and that's never been contemplated, and that's not something that we would entertain for this project. Surplus power, the city has had surplus power in the past, and we've sold that surplus power back to the market. What we've been very clear with the developers on this project is that any power that this project would require, they have to pay their own way. So if the city has the capacity, we'll supply that. If it's beyond the capacity of our generation, then we will source that power on the market, and we will pass that energy through to them, but they will buy that power from us. Last thing I want to comment on is some of the studies that are being commissioned, including the power study. Those studies have been commissioned by the City of Hamilton, and oftentimes we are working with partners in those studies that we've worked with for decades. Those partners represent the best interest of our community, of the City of Hamilton, and our electric utility. We select those partners. They conduct those studies on our behalf, and we pay for those studies, and then we're reimbursed for those studies by this project. And again, this goes back to the underlying ground rules for entertaining this project, where that it had to pay its own way, from studying this to any infrastructure upgrades and any power costs as well. In addition to that, Mayor, like I said, I'll make sure that the other questions are answered as best we can. Again, until we get this information back, this next study we expected was 90 days, and that was as our last meeting, so it'll be sometime shortly into the new year. But until then, we're working off limited information. As new information becomes available through these studies, we'll bring that back here and report it out.
Thank you.
No, ma'am, Terry, we're not gonna do exchange of back and forth right now. I mean, I think we can email and do it that way or at the actual meetings from the audience of citizens. All right, we gotta get to our rest of our business. We now have a consent agenda to address. That includes all staff reports, all caucus reports, and meeting minutes. We're gonna go to the committee of the whole. That is when we get a chance to hear presentations from our professionals about items before council. And I'll set the motion that the regular meeting be recessed and the committee of the whole take place.
So moved.
Second. Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Fear. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried. At 7:06. Okay.
Okay, leading on with our presentations for the caucus agenda. Our first presentation will be made by our Health Commissioner, Miss Cindy Hogg. There we are.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm here tonight to recommend the authorization of the Animal Friends Humane Society Agreement for services in 2026. Over the years, the city has entered into various agreements with the Animal Friends Humane Society, and they have provided a vital service to our city. This agreement includes quarantine services for animals for disease control purposes, impoundment services for animals due to criminal or court order cases, and impoundment services for dogs and cats running at large within the city. Currently, there are no other animal shelters in the area that can provide these services. This agreement is for 1 year from January 1st to December 31st of 2026. There is a 20% increase. This increase is due to an increase in operational costs and intake numbers. The new monthly rate will be $5,500, and there are additional fees for quarantine, criminal case, and court order cases, which include intake and support services, necropsy, decapitation, and veteran fees for treatment in animal cruelty or criminal cases. The health and law departments did work with Animal Friends Humane Society to negotiate this agreement. Do you have any questions?
Thank you.
Next up for agenda item number 2 will be a presentation by our law director, Ms. Letitia Block.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. I'm before you on a recommendation to approve a renewal agreement with the county for public defender services. We have had an agreement of this kind since 2009. We had a period of time in which there weren't increases in the contract, but in recent years, there's been a request from the county to increase costs, which is why I've been before you on this particular agreement in recent years. So under the Ohio Revised Code, there is an obligation to provide legal representation, effective legal representation to individuals that cannot afford it. The statute calls those individuals indigent persons. And so the contract with the county is proposed to remain the same in terms of the substantive terms, but from a cost perspective, the county is requesting an approximately 5% increase. So for the 2025 contract, it's $122,000 plus dollars, and then for 2026 proposed to be approximately $128,000 for the year. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Next up for items 3 and 5, with a presentation by our Director of Economic Development, Mr. Jody Gunderson.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, City Council.
The first item here is a recommendation to authorize and direct the city manager to execute an amendment to the Community Reinvestment Area, CRA, agreement with CRDV Hamilton LLC, which is doing business as Cohatch. Just the terms of the local abatement. They're requesting that we change the completion date from June 30th, 2025 to December 31st, 2025. I realize that we're deep into this season here, but they were having some interesting issues themselves with different contractors, so we didn't want to bring it back and forth to you guys until we had a much better feeling about the timeline that they would be completed. Cohatch will hire 3 full-time employees and 10 part-time employees over the next 3 years. The CRA that they will receive is 50% for 10 years, and the overall cost of this project is about $8.65 million.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Fair.
Do you mind going back a slide, please? So where it says requesting extension for completion from June to December, that is next month, so we're just.
Yep, and in fact, Ken Rivera was out there and spoke with them again today, because that was one of the questions that we had on to make sure that that's a safe date, or we would push it back further. But they feel very comfortable that they will be completed by the end of the year.
And they know that's next month, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Jody.
Questions? Thank you, Jody.
The next item is a recommendation to establish a municipal public improvement tax increment financing TIP district to promote the development of 8383 Bilstein Boulevard. That's the Coolants Plus project, or Starfire project, that we just recently had a ribbon cutting at, and they're in the process of completing that project. But pursuant to the school compensation agreement between the city and the Hamilton School District, the city has agreed to support tax increment financing district for this development project. One of the things that comes out of this project is we re-engineered that intersection at Bilstein and Sims Road so that based upon the number of semis that would be going into the project, that we had a bit of a slip lane, made it a much safer intersection. And the school district was very good to work with us on that. They approved the compensation agreement at their July 10th, 2025 board meeting. Let's see here. And then Mount Healthy Holdings is the company that owns the property. They're just on the process of completing all aspects of that property. It's about a $9.8 million project. It's the recommendation of this office that the council receive this report, concur with the recommendation, and direct the preparation of the necessary legislation. Questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up for items 4 and 7, we'll have a presentation by our Director of Planning, Ms. Lauren Nelson.
Good evening, Mayor and members of Council. So back before you again tonight with more right-of-way items. So the first is related to a petition to vacate about 400 feet of right-of-way located on Whitway. So this property, hard to see, but located in red, so this adjoins the city-owned parcels at 490 Martin Luther King and 425 Butler. This is the location of the proposed dual Hilton project, and the vacation of this right-of-way is to create sort of the campus that's needed for that entire project site. So this is a petition before council, and with your approval, we'll proceed to Planning Commission for their consideration and public hearing, and then their recommendation would come back to you for final approval. This is just a more detailed rendering there of what would be vacated in what way. And then secondly, recommendation related to the dedication of just over 11,000 square feet along Pershing Avenue as right-of-way. So this would be the opposite. Instead of vacating right-of-way, this is cleanup, which comes to you occasionally as we find parcels in the city that are owned by the city. All these parcels highlighted in red are owned by the city, but are part of the right-of-way. So this is just really cleanup to dedicate these parcels as right-of-way. And this is located right at the corner of Pershing and Nealon Boulevard. And this has gone before Planning Commission already, and Planning Commission has recommended approval for council's consideration.
Mr.
And
Mayor.
again, here's
Councilor
just
Vaughn.
Yes.
So, Lauren, I'm trying to understand. So, what's outlined in red on the previous is city property, or
Correct.
does it become?
It is, yes, it is private, it is public property. The privately owned is in like the city being, right, the private owner, but is really just cleanup that needs to happen that, this was missed at some point. This should just be dedicated as right-of-way. It shouldn't be parcels in the city's name as such. It should just be part of the right-of-way.
Okay, so it goes into private property, but it already existed. We're not buying property from
No,
somebody.
and it's not, none of this is on property that's owned by those houses you see. This is all City of Hamilton property. So if you looked on GIS at like our parcel map, we have a layer you can turn on that's makes everything owned by the city, like an orange, a different color. These would show up as property owned by the city, like the property the building that we're standing in right now. This is a parcel that's owned by the city. That's property that's not right of way.
Okay.
This is just cleaning up that legal designation that this is actually right of way.
So property 139 comes pretty close to.
This does not impact anything related to the private property owners.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I think the report said something like no construction or anything like that will take place on those carved out in red areas, right? I mean, it's just.
Right. It's obviously being utilized already as right of way. This is just legally making that correction.
Okay.
Sort of in the what's recorded related to these parcels.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And for item number 6, coming to the podium again will be our Director of Engineering, Mr. Alan Messer.
Good evening again. Just to follow up on that, a lot of times on road projects, property is purchased as right-of-way or intended to be right-of-way, particularly ODOT projects. It goes in the city's name, and then there wasn't in the past follow-through to make it officially right-of-way, which is the step that Lauren was referring to. So that, looking at that, I'm guessing that was the case there. We see a lot on state routes. This is the assessment roll. The positive that I gave you earlier, we're paving a lot more streets next year. Negative side of that is there's a lot of concrete assessment. And so these are the streets again. This is next year's paving list. Now we have, for those that have been a part of the Board of Revisions in the past, engineering staff has taken a step back and look at what really needs to be assessed. In the past, we assessed essentially anything that was cracked. Now we're focusing more on something that would be a tripping hazard or that's just totally destroyed, as opposed to something that's merely cracked. And we looked at what other communities do for their policy and tried to model after that. So The hope would be, even though there's a lot more impacted properties, there won't be as much coming to Board of Revisions in the future. Are there any questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Please.
does the concrete work include sidewalks, or is it just the end of the driveways?
It's a good question. So it includes sidewalks and drive aprons. It does not include, if you remember, used to include curb.
Yeah.
And that was taken away when the street levy passed.
Okay, I just couldn't remember if it was sidewalks. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
And for our last presentation, I'll cover that, agenda item number 8. Hello, Mayor, members of council. Daniel Tidyman, City Clerk, here to talk about the most exciting item on the agenda tonight, our annual codification update. So, as you're aware, we have our own municipal code and our charter, and about once a year, we adopt one ordinance that updates all of our replacement pages as well as our online ordinances through American Legal Publishing. So far with our process, we've sent the updated code amendments to American Legal Publishing. We are also working on updating our online code, and we've received a hard copy of replacement pages and have made our amendments to them or edits to them that needed to be made, as well as sent back that copy for more updates. That is the summation of my report. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, accept the motion to committee of the whole be closed.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Nab, second by Councilmember Ryan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none. The motion is carried at 7:22. I'll set the motion that the regular meeting be reconvened.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Fear, seconded by Vice Mayor Pullman. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
And that was adopted at 7:23. I'll accept the motion at this time.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
make a motion that with the exception of the items so noted, council receive the reports of the consent agenda and concur in the recommendations.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Fear. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:23. We now go into council actions pertaining to legislative items, and I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move that a note be made upon the minutes that each member of council was furnished a printed copy of each item of legislation prior to its being considered at this meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Lauer. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, that motion is carried at 7:24. We now go into pending legislation. Agenda item number 9. Second reading of an ordinance vacating a portion of some streets and alleys.
An ordinance vacating a portion of Fox Avenue, Skillman Avenue, Dixie Highway Alley, and Bell Avenue Alley, Durana Hybrid, situated in the 6th Ward, North Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Ryan. Any discussion or comments on this one? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Now go to new legislation, agenda item number 10, first reading of an ordinance involving city manager's employment agreement.
An ordinance approving the terms and conditions set forth in the city manager employment agreement with the city manager and authorizing and directing all council members to execute said agreement, first reading.
We go to agenda item number 11, two readings of emergency ordinance involving a temporary easement, Bell Avenue, Dixie Highway, and State Route 4 intersection project.
An emergency ordinance approving the purchase of a temporary easement, a permanent utility easement, and fees simple interest in certain real estate located at 2104, 2129, and 2204 Dixie Highway, and BJJ LLC within the city of Hamilton, Ohio, for the public purpose of Bell Avenue, Dixie Highway, and State Route 4 intersection project, first of two readings.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read a second time by its title. Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of the emergency ordinance, please.
An emergency ordinance approving the purchase of a temporary easement, a permanent utility easement, and fees, simple interest in certain real estate located at 2104, 2129, and 2204 Dixie Highway, and BJJ LLC within the city of Hamilton, Ohio, for the public purpose of the Bell Avenue Dixie Highway and State Route 4 intersection project. Second reading.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Ryan. Any comments or questions on this one? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Go to agenda item number 12, first reading of an ordinance following a vacation of, order vacating a portion of a right-of-way, Van Buren Drive.
An ordinance vacating a 110-foot length by 12-foot width portion of right-of-way located between 53 Van Buren Drive and 57 Van Buren Drive, situated in the 5th Ward, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner, first reading.
Agenda item number 13 is the first reading of an ordinance vacating 3 portions of the right-of-way at Spooky Nook.
An ordinance vacating 3 portions of right-of-way at Spooky Nook, situated in the 1st Ward, North Side, City of Hamilton, Ohio. City of Hamilton petitioner, first reading.
Agenda item number 14, 2 readings of emergency ordinance involving notes not to exceed $52,250,000 for certain infrastructure projects.
An emergency ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of various purpose notes in a principal amount not to exceed $52,250,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of discharging at maturity bond anticipation notes heretofore issued by the City of Hamilton, Ohio, to pay the costs of constructing certain infrastructure projects, authorizing a certificate of award, a note purchase agreement, and a continuing disclosure certificate authorizing the preparation and delivery of an official statement or similar disclosure document, and authorizing other actions in connection with the issuance of such notes and declaring an emergency, first of 2 readings.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the rules be suspended and said ordinance read a second time by its title.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Nab. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of the emergency ordinance, please.
An emergency ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of various purpose notes in a principal amount not to exceed $52,250,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of discharging at maturity bond anticipation notes heretofore issued by the City of Hamilton, Ohio, to pay the cost of constructing certain infrastructure projects, authorizing a certificate of award, a note purchase agreement, and continuing disclosure certificate, authorizing the preparation and delivery of an official statement or similar disclosure document, and authorizing other actions in connection with the issuance of such notes and declaring an emergency, second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Nab. Comments, discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Go to agenda item number 15, 2 readings of emergency ordinance following bond anticipation notes not to exceed $2 million involving improvements to roadways and infrastructure.
An emergency ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation limited tax roadway improvement bond anticipation notes, Series 2025, in the principal amount not to exceed $2 million, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing costs of certain capital improvements to the city's roadways and related infrastructure improvements within the city, authorizing a certificate of award, a note purchase agreement, and continuing disclosure certificate, authorizing the preparation and delivery of an official statement or similar disclosure document, and authorizing other actions in connection with the issuance of such notes and declaring an emergency, first of 2 readings.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read a second time by its title.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Lauer. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of the emergency ordinance, please.
An emergency ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation, limited tax roadway improvement bond anticipation notes, Series 2025, in the principal amount not to exceed $2 million, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing costs of certain capital improvements to the city's roadways and related infrastructure improvements within the city, authorizing a certificate of award, a note purchase agreement, and a continuing disclosure certificate, authorizing the preparation and delivery of an official statement or similar disclosure document, authorizing other actions in connection with the issuance of such notes, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Vice Mayor Pullman.
motion that the ordinance be adopted.
Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Lauer. Any discussion on this one? Okay, roll call vote.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Move to agenda item number 16, two readings of emergency ordinance involving some bond anticipation notes not to exceed $2 million, improvements to our water utility system.
An emergency ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation, limited tax water system bond anticipation notes, Series 2025, in the principal amount not to exceed $2 million, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing costs of certain capital improvements to the city's water utility system, including without limitation acquisition and construction of hydroponic pneumatics tanks and booster pumping station, along with related improvements, authorizing a certificate of award, note purchase agreement, and continuing disclosure certificate, authorizing the preparation and delivery of official statement and other disclosure document, or similar disclosure document, authorizing other actions in connection with the issuance of such notes and declaring an emergency. First of two readings.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the rules be suspended and said ordinance be read a second time by its title.
Second. For Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Ryan. Roll call vote on that, please. Motion?
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of emergency ordinance.
An emergency ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of general obligation limited tax water system bond anticipation notes, Series 2025, in the principal amount not to exceed $2 million, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of financing costs of certain capital improvements to the city's water utility system, including without limitation acquisition and construction of hydropneumatics tanks and booster pumping station, along with related improvements, authorizing the certificate of award, a note purchase agreement, and continuing disclosure statement, authorizing the preparation and delivery of an official statement or similar disclosure document, authorizing other actions in connection with the issuance of such notes, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Vaughn.
I move the ordinance be adopted.
Second. Motion by Councilmember Vaughn, second by Councilmember Ryan. Any discussion on this one? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
If we go to agenda item number 17, two readings of emergency ordinance consolidating the three note issues we've already just voted on.
An emergency ordinance consolidating three note issues and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $56,750,000 of notes by the city of Hamilton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. First of two readings.
Mayor,
Councilmember Nab.
I move the rules be suspended, said ordinance be read a second time by its title. Second.
Councilmember Nab, second by Vice Mayor Pullman. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes.
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Second reading of the emergency ordinance.
an emergency ordinance consolidating 3 note issues and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $56,750,000 of notes by the City of Hamilton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Nab.
Move the ordinance be adopted.
Second.
Made Councilmember Nab, second by Vice Mayor Pullman. Questions on this? Roll call vote.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Fear.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted, 7-0.
Go to agenda item number 18, which is a resolution involving a joint funding agreement with the City of Fairfield for resurfacing of a portion of Sims Road.
A resolution authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into a joint funding agreement between the City of Fairfield and the City of Hamilton for the resurfacing of Sims Road from just east of Pleasant Avenue to just west of State Route 4.
Mayor.
Vice Mayor Pullman.
Make a motion that the resolution be adopted.
Second. Motion by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Lauer. Any comments or questions on this one? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Moeller.
Yes.
Pullman.
Yes.
Ryan.
Yes.
Fear.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Nab.
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Resolution adopted, 7-0.
Thank you. Now go audience for the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just want to make a brief comment about Veterans Day yesterday. I want to thank all our veterans. Especially want to thank the veterans here on our City of Hamilton team. Also want to thank the City of Hamilton Veterans Hall of Fame, who this past Sunday inducted 4 current and former City of Hamilton team members into that Veterans Hall of Fame. They included Assistant Superintendent Chris Haynes, Assistant Chief of Police Sean Fryman, former Fire Captain Jerry Gloka, and former Hamilton Police Officer Earl Grubb. Earl was a U.S. Army veteran of World War I. He was a Hamilton police officer when he made the ultimate sacrifice for our community. He was killed in the line of duty on January 1st, 1935. So it was a great tribute to those team members here in Hamilton for that honor by the committee. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Audience of City Council.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Ryan.
Just want to thank you and Councilwoman Vaughn for braving the cold weather yesterday at the Safe Haven Baby Box install. And again, really want to congratulate and thank Director Scramizzi and EMT Mark Menery for their hard work on this very, very important endeavor. Glad we got this one across the finish line. We're saving lives. We're saving babies' lives. Also want to give a shout out to Butler County Right to Life for helping us out with this. Hamilton continues to lead the way in a lot of categories, and here we are leading the way with saving lives. This is the first one in Butler County, so that's a lot to celebrate. It's a lot to celebrate life, and it's also important to note that we are a voice for the voiceless. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Nab.
I'd like to share that this coming Friday morning, November the 14th at 8 o'clock, the Finance Committee of Council will be meeting to understand and go through the process of our entire budget. Normally we break the meetings into 2 separate meetings, but we'll do a composite this coming Friday. The public is welcome to join us here in council chambers. Expect the meeting probably will last about an hour and a half to run through the entire deck of presentation of budget and where we are in 25, where we're heading in 26, but you're all welcome to join us. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Fear.
So the tree lighting this year is November the 22nd. Starts at 4:30. We'll have events. And then there's a parade that starts at 6 o'clock, and Santa Claus is brought in, and he will light the tree for us. And the tree was placed today, so it's down there at Markham Park. Anybody wants to go visit it, they're going to get the lights on it tomorrow, and then we'll be ready to go.
And the event is at Markham Park?
It is
all
at
of
Markham
the event
Park.
and the parade?
It is at Markham Park.
Anyone else? Vice Mayor Pullman.
Well, I want to shout out, it's really unique. I went to the Sutherland Park ribbon cutting there where the students brought out some rocks and did the rock garden and everything. And it's really neat to see the young kids get involved in the parks like we used to have when we were young. And it's all credited to Hamilton Conservancy Park Conservancy has done such a great job. And of course, I like to golf. I'm not very good at it, but I golf, and I hear a lot of good things about Twin Run and Potter, how well they do with these golf courses. And I've heard comments like they're so much better than, I'm not going to mention the cities, but they're so much better shape, and it's just some very good hard work. And it's nice to see that Hamilton has quality parks again. And there's so many people to thank for that, but it is a joy to see that we have a good park system and we have 2 good quality golf courses too. It's pretty good for the little town. So, thank you.
Anyone else? I want to say Veterans Day was a special day here. Many of our elementary schools, both parochial and public, had a veteran speak, and it was just another special day. And we do recognize our veterans. And Veterans Hall of Fame is not just for what somebody did while they served, but it's also for what they did after they served. And that's where we get these tremendous stories that Tim Nab and I go over with some city employees, Chris Haynes, Ken Callahan, and Dan Bates. The safe baby box, I think we're the 20th in Ohio, which means we're ahead of a lot of other cities and counties. And just the heart that people have and the beliefs that they have were so strong for that project, it got done. So thanks for all who were involved in that. Anything else?
I want to thank Tim Nab for his service and his continued service and dedication to our veterans in this town, the hometown heroes, and just some of the stuff that he does with the Veterans Board. I appreciate that. We had a great event at Garfield. Unbelievable. I want to give a shout out to our kids who were so unbelievably well behaved and participated so well. We've got a really special thing at Garfield, and Josh Marjoram does it great.
Yes, he does. Okay, now you reminded me that we've had some Hamilton City School students who are involved with all these weekend events. There was a singer at the Sergeant Fred Brown flag.
Unbelievable.
She was a tremendous singer. And then we had Navy Junior ROTC at the Veterans Hall of Fame. So professional, high character. I mean, they're great representatives of what our public schools are.
String quartet.
Yeah, string quartet. I forgot about that. That was tremendous. I mean, I'm not kidding. These are students who are very mature, very well-mannered, and that makes you real proud of what our schools are doing. Anything else? Okay. Executive session, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, for 2 reasons. The first, to consider confidential information related to the marketing plans, specific business strategy, production techniques, trade secrets, or personal financial statements of an applicant for economic development assistance. And secondly, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Okay, regarding your request for the first reason for an executive session, is there a motion that the executive session be necessary? It's found to be necessary to protect the interests of the applicant or the possible investment or expenditure of public funds made in connection with an economic development project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Pullman, second by Councilmember Vaughn. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
Motion is adopted at 7:44. Is there a motion that we go into executive session for the stated purposes, including the second one, given by the city manager?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Fear, second by Councilmember Vaughn. Roll call vote on that motion, please.
Moeller,
Yes?
Pullman,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Fear,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Nab,
Yes.
Lauer.
Yes.
Motion adopted, 7-0.
That motion was adopted at 7:45. We're going to go into executive session. We'll come out of the executive session just to adjourn the regular meeting, and that takes care of all the public business we're doing this evening. Thank you.